So in this video we'll be seeing about the pickles reduce function, and also we'll be seeing why it is so dangerous to deserialize unsanitized input. So we should not sanitize whatever input the user has given. We should apply some filters and sanitize the input. So pickle can serialize most of the data like dictionaries, tuples, lists, JSON, etc. But it cannot serialize the files. So let us see an example. Let's create the class. Let's say test. So in this we have the constructor underscore init. So let's go and open a file descriptor. Let's open a file. And let's open this in say write binary. And after that, what we are going to do is we are going to create an object. Let's say t is equals to test. And what I want to do is I want to serialize this object. Then it will try to serialize this file descriptor, and it gets failed because pickle does not know how to serialize the files. So let's say this data is serialized data. Let's go and run this one, and you can see cannot pickle this IO buffer writer object because this is the file descriptor, and pickle does not know how to serialize this one. Now what we are going to do is we are going to use the reduce function. So this reduce will try to serialize the data. First it will serialize this file name, that is test.txt, instead of serializing this file descriptor. So the syntax is underscore reduce. So you can see the return format is tuple. It contains any arguments. So let me delete this one. So what we are going to do is we are going to say return, and we need to return a tuple, and the first one is class or the function. So the class we are going to do is the test class. So we can actually use the self dot underscore class to determine the class of this object itself. So whenever you create another object t2, so it will contain its reduce function, and here the arguments should also be sent in a tuple. So the arguments is the file name. So let's say test.txt. So put the semicolon, so this will become a tuple instead of a normal brackets, and you can see we got serialized this entire object t object for this test class successfully. So the vulnerability lies in this one because the data sent by the user can be serialized like any shopping cart data or any other data. So what we are going to do is let me delete this. Let me show you how this will cause a serious issue when we do not sanitize the user input. So let's first one we can say is the function name. We want to say, let's say os.system, comma. So we also need to import the OS. And the second one is we are going to say the arguments, let's say calculator.exe. So instead of serializing specifying our file name, we are specifying os.system and with the argument calc.exe. So if you normally run this in the command prompt, it would open a calculator. You can also put the reversal in here, but we don't have Kali Linux right now, so that's why I am trying to open the calculator. So whenever we are creating this object, we are dumping into this as data. So let's go and run this one, and you can see we have successfully serialized. So the serializer, there is no harmful in the serialized data. The problem lies in deserializing this data. So let's go and say d data, that is no need to say anything. Let's just say pickle.loads of s data. So whenever this code gets loaded, then this os.system function gets executed and the calculator gets opened, and now you can see calculator has been found. So here what we are going to what we are doing is we are defining our own serialized data. So you can just print this as data. So you can basically this serialized data will be base64 encoded or something encoded, will be expected in the header or in the post body data. So you can encode this one in the base64 or whatever encoding the website is using, and you can send this one and you can get the calculator popped on this web server. So you can also put the reversal here and you can send the data to this web server and you can get the reversal. So now you can see the user's input must and should be sanitized before serializing and deserializing the data. Before serialization, so we need to apply some filters at the client side and also as well as the server side. So that's all for this video. We have seen the reduce function and how we can use this to get the code execution.